Most conflict escalates because we see the other person as an obstacle rather than a teammate. This was a recent revelation I had when I was working through a problem, and I was like, why am I seeing the person as like you versus me? Or you can extract this in the larger perspective of us versus them. Rather than let's just take the problem, make it a third entity, and combine forces, right? That aspect is what allows us to actually get to a solution, a desired outcome. And this works in all facets of life. But let me give you a couple of examples. So let's say a partner brings up a concern. Don't go into defensive ego mode. Instead say, how do we solve this together? Not why are you upset with me? When you do that, you're closing down the conversation as opposed to opening it up. Right? Language has a power, and in this particular instance, it quite literally shifts the narrative. And when you can do that, as I said, you can get to much better results. Let's say you're at work, and in this particular instance, a team member messes up. Go in there with some support of how can we fix this? That is an open-ended question that allows them to enter the space as opposed to, why did you mess this up? What are they supposed to do with, why did you mess this up? Immediately, they want to puff out their chest, I'm sure, and proverbially fight you, right? They're going to get very defensive, and what's it going to do except upset people and so forth? So, with the language and the framing, what we're looking at is, we're dealing with this together as opposed to you are the cause of something, right? It shapes emotion and it shapes the outcome around it. And, as I reflected on this, I was like, wow, this can be applied to so many places because it takes the ego out of it and allows us to be that partnership to create and solve the issue, right? It keeps the emotions out of the exchange. And in fact, if anything, it can be an opportunity to bond because we're working through something together as opposed to in opposition. And I really wish that we started to see the world as such, especially in our politics, because, oftentimes we do frame it as us versus them. And I don't think that helps. Now, we can't fix the wider world necessarily, but we can fix what's within our world and how we come at these things. And so in the scenarios that I've been giving you, there's both where someone is coming at you and where you're, approaching someone else. And so even when someone is coming and quote unquote attacking you, you have the ability to reshift that and put the energy towards, let's work together. And when you approach somebody where there's something you want to elevate, fix, whatever the problem, whatever it is, then do so with an open mind, right? You are in control in either scenario, whatever it may be. So know that first and foremost, and is applicable with coworkers, with family members, with friends. You name it, it's applicable. In fact, one of the things I'd love for you to do is to reflect upon how this shift can work in your life. So think about all the things that you might currently be dealing with, or you potentially might deal with, and consider how you may reframe them to get to the ideal scenario in your mind, right? Really think about that. And if you wouldn't mind, share, comment down below so we can kind of open this dialogue up to everybody and we can all learn from each other, because I think it would be a wonderful thing. So if you're comfortable with that, go ahead and share, or feel free to also hit me up on social media at Svitek. It would be wonderful to really hear that feedback from you. But as always, I hope this helps. I truly appreciate you taking time to tune in and hope to see you next time.